My name's Darin Hussey. I'm going to try to share my testimony with you. My wife and I have always been believers, but we really never sought a church. We were in the military for a good amount of years, and we never really looked for a church there. Like I said, we always believed. Several years ago, my wife and I went through a big ordeal in our lives. I really struggled with it, but my dad always taught me, you're the man of the house, you handle your problems. So I always handled my problems myself. As hard as it was at times, what I thought I handled them myself. We made it through that. Fast forward several years, while we were in the military, we had 2 boys. They're grown and moved out of the house. Well, my oldest son made a tough, bad decision, as we all do, and it was really getting to him. And he asked me to go to Family Christian Center with him one day. So we went. But when we walked into the church, there was a feeling that overcome me that was a lot like when I was in the military. It was a camaraderie thing. And I missed that when I got out of the military. But I walked into the church, felt welcome from the start, felt like we belonged there. So within a month, it was our home church. We don't miss church service. We look forward to it every week. Probably 4 months after we started going there, I gave my life to Jesus. 2 weeks after that, I got baptized. So I jumped in with both feet. I had a fire burning in me. I just loved the place. I loved the people there, everything about it. And then my testimony comes in where I started realizing some things that had happened in my life that I thought I shouldered and took care of myself was actually not the case. There was times when God worked in my life even before I gave my life to Him. And one of those was when my wife and I went through our struggles back in '95. There was a couple of questions I asked one day when I was by myself in the middle of this mess. I asked God, why He put me there and why He's let me go through it. I was thinking some bad things at the time, and don't know how far it would have gone, except for I received a phone call from my brother-in-law out of the blue during a work day. Never called me before, just wanting to know how I was doing. And at the time I thought, man, that's really a coincidence, or that was good luck. But now that I've gone to God or come to Jesus, I've realized that God was working in my life then, even before I gave my life to Him. So it was just really peaceful to me to understand that and realize that. And then last summer, my wife had some health issues, and she really turned to God, and He supported her all the way through her health issues and her surgery, and everything turned out really good. Another thing that happened in our life that people say you go through struggles to grow and become a better person from them and closer to God was my brother-in-law that called me when we were in the middle of our relational problems. He was in a motorcycle accident and was 3 days from getting out of the hospital to go home, and he went into cardiac arrest while he was still in the hospital and passed away. We started kindergarten together, so we were really close. We happened to marry sisters, so we did a lot of things together with them. He's the closest to a brother that I've ever had. I'd do anything for him, and I know he would have done anything for me. So when he passed away, we were on a high at the time because he was ready to get out of the hospital. He passed away so suddenly that I realized, you can't take anything for granted. Hug your kids every day. Tell people that really mean something to you, you love them, and they mean something to you. Never go to bed mad at your wife. settle problems as soon as you can. Sometimes it's better to step back and think about things before you say them, but try to get differences worked out as soon as you can, because tomorrow's never promised. Now, we could have turned away from God in that, but instead in that time, that's when my wife turned to him and she gave her life to God then. So there was a positive that come from that. But there's just been a lot of situations in my life that I thought were just good luck at the time. And, I realized that it was God working in whatever ways he works. So that's my testimony.